You guys are on the air.
Good morning and Happy New Year to all. I call to order the Design Review Board for January 19th, 2021. The first, is everybody there?
Yep.
Yep.
We
The
hear you.
first item on the agenda are the minutes of December 1st, 2020, which were previously distributed. Any questions or corrections? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The first item for today is the project Under One Roof at 29 King Street, LLC. Is the applicant present?
Agent for the applicant, yes.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you describe the project?
Certainly, I did hear some of the initial discussions that were happening earlier before the meeting started. And I think Ann sort of mentioned that this is a property that was purchased several years ago by Under One Roof LLC. And as the name implies, it was meant to allow Pristine Pools to basically bring all of his pool business onto one site. So the first phase of the project was to take over from the old electric company, right, which had been there, forever, and convert it into the sort of the commercial part of his business. So it's his actual trucks that have the installs and the materials and things, and his corporate offices are in the Rue de Chan parking lot.
Right.
And so the goal here, as part of this second portion of the project, is to put an addition on the second floor, sort of between the two garages as you look at the building from King Street, which would then incorporate his offices. So it would basically convert all of his employees to under one roof, literally, and it would be a one site which then would operate the full Pristine Pools and offices for his business.
Approximately how many employees does he have?
He has approximately 35 full-time employees and an additional 5 to 10 part-time employees during the season.
Wow. Okay. And
that number varies slightly, obviously, with the seasons. Right. But a year or so ago when we started these applications, so they may actually be higher.
I see.
Did this project already have to go to the ZBA?
So we are pending in front of the ZBA, and part of the ZBA's review was Billy wanted us to come to the DRB as well. So we submitted this application while the ZBA application is also pending.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a requirement. The code requirement for any non-conforming use is that the Design Review Board has to conduct a preliminary review of the application before the zoning board can act. So this is that preliminary review.
Yes, right.
And I recognize we actually have been through this process once before when the building was first purchased and converted to Pristine's usage. And I noticed that actually all the board members are different from that first review. So some of the other questions I think that came up earlier regarding the lighting and things were sort of all addressed during the last time we went through this. So that 2 of the lights in the rear of the property nearest the Stratton Square residences are turned off. And the other remaining lights are turned off at 11 per the requirement of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From my perspective, I think the changing of the exterior is an improvement over what exists currently. The changing of the color and to match the railroad station is what they said, and it's a bit of an eyesore as it sits currently.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any other opinions.
Yeah. Right now, it sort of looks unfinished, as Kristen said. Looks sort of like a bunker, but it would be nice to have the facade covered in brick and also the other detailing as depicted in the drawings.
Yeah, and I think that is Greg's opinion as well. You know, he had to save, when he bought the building, it wasn't inexpensive. So he had to take a few years to recoup those costs. And sort of has always been part of the plan, but it's just taken us a little longer than anticipated to sort of get here. And I think there was some question about the exterior storage, and that's part of the plan for that back building. That is part of the variance application, which is not seen from the street. It's behind the street.
Right.
Behind the building, rather, I'm sorry.
Right. So,
Is that a cement block building?
I'm sorry?
Where you're going to store your chemicals?
That's going to be, I think, materials, chemicals, as well as some of the bluestone and things that you see
Yeah.
on site.
So Trip, that building will eliminate the outdoor storage that exists now? That's
I don't know if it will completely eliminate it, but I think it would certainly reduce it substantially. I would have to speak to the client about whether he intends to have it all stored inside.
okay. Because right now there's outdoor storage in the parking space, some of the defined parking spaces, and it's just a little haphazard there, right?
Oh, understood. And that the end goal is to have it not haphazard.
Yeah. Okay. So if there is the need for more outdoor storage or to maintain some, it might be good to, at least define it and, keep it at least somewhat limited into a certain area on the property so that we're not using parking spaces for storing bluestone and stuff like that.
I'm sure he would have no objection to that.
Okay.
Well, it would look nice and I realize this is the beginning of the project. So actually, it would be nice, as Billy said, that it would all be sort of put away or away from sight. So when you're driving by, we wouldn't see this conglomeration of so many different types of materials, but actually stored within the building, especially chemicals and bluestone and things like that, because I'm sure he wants a showroom. So.
Yes, and part of the plan, I think, does call for a use to, and I don't have it in front of me, for a basement area storage as well. So,
Correct.
So I mean, the plan is to have as much, put away as possible.
Right. And I did notice that there is a request for 85 parking spaces. Will he be renting out portions of the building to other companies, or do you think that most of this will be the 85 spaces just for his business, which seems like a large business if he has 35 plus employees?
Yes, my understanding from day one is this will only be his use.
Just his use.
He's not renting out to anybody. He has other, the goal is to not have to use the Rudishan parking lot and move his cars every 2 hours, or was prior to the current administration. But and everybody would park there and remain there, and the employees come in and they need the spots to park and then take the other trucks out. So will every 85 spot be filled at one time? Probably not, but the 35 trucks will be there overnight, and then the new cars come in and need a parking spot and to take the trucks instead of doing the shuffle in the morning.
Yeah, I guess if you do the math, if there's 35 trucks and he has 35 plus employees and they all drive a car or something, and that actually probably makes up the 85 spaces.
Pretty close.
Right.
So. I do think with that second story on it, it'll give that building sort of a finished look. Whereas, it's just like a shoebox where it is now. It seems to me.
Is that completely the original structure? Is that the structure that he purchased? He didn't make any revisions once he purchased it?
Well, I think that building belonged to the telephone company.
Yeah.
They had a maintenance garage on the far end, and I guess they had office space. And I guess the building, to me, is pretty much the way it always was. Except originally, that was the Long Island Ice Company.
Exactly. In the back, right? There was the pond in the back that froze. Yeah. It's the old, going back some years. Yeah, Mr. Dayton is correct on that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about Cheryl is if we're confused about any events from, I guess, from the beginning, he'll fill us in. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the answer to your question is the structure is as it was purchased and has been used
Yeah,
He did the landscaping plan as was originally required, which mostly planted, and he actually planted more than was originally required. And that mostly bordered the residential parcels, not the railroad parcels.
are they gonna put any more landscaping around the area?
At this time, I don't think that's part of the plan.
All right.
But it is to, once the facade is, and then I think the plan ultimately after that point is to come back regarding the get fences and gates and all that.
Yeah, 'cause I think on the original plan, they had over to the right of the property, they were gonna put grass in there.
And they've done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
If they have so many cars, you don't have room for grass. One or the
Well, they
other.
planted out plants and bushes and trees to
Yeah,
block out to the neighbor, because the concern was the residences to that Stratton Square side of the parcel.
yeah,
So in addition to grasses, they also planted taller bushes.
right. Along the borders.
Correct, yeah.
Any other questions?
No,
Okay.
looks pretty good.
I think it looks good.
Okay.
I think it's better.
Anybody? No? Okay, with that, thank you. We will, the board, I guess at this point, if there aren't any other questions, the board has concluded its preliminary review and we'll send this off to the ZBA for approval.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you all for your assistance. Pam, are there any other items for today?
Oh, there's not.
Oh, okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Making a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all and
Thank you.
have
Keep
a great,
well.
thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year.